Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake, a special edition, a playoff edition. The MLB playoffs are set. It happened. It kind of blows my mind when you get to this point every season when they were doing, last regular season game today. And you're like, what? Go from opening day, all-star game. Somehow we're here. Some of you are in love with your team and you're about to win the World Series. Some of you are so disappointed in your team. And we'll talk about those a little bit. Hello, Mets. But the playoff matchups are set. On this, I kind of just want to react to it live. We're recording this on Sunday night, so everything just came out. Tomorrow on Talking Baseball, we're going to kind of do more of a deep dive into each series, more stats and diving in. This is just kind of going to be feel as we go through. The baseball playoffs are set. What? How did it happen? Let's dive in. Let's just do it. A lot of you... if you're a Yankees fan, we've got a lot of stuff coming on Talking Yanks. We just did the tip of the iceberg as we wrapped up the season over there. It is the premier wild card series, and I guess we'll just do AL, and I'll get my Yankee thoughts out because a lot of you do come here for that. And it's my fandom. There's a Jeter height chart behind me. We also just added a CC height chart.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Yeah, that'll sneak up on you. I think I sent that to Sam on Instagram, and she made it happen. So that's huge, just what we needed around here. Yankee fans, if you have Yankee fans in your life, you have an interesting couple days coming up. If nothing else mattered, okay, welcome. If nothing else mattered, and you're looking for boxes to check heading into the postseason, in a way, the New York Yankees have checked the boxes in the best possible way. They have a 1-2 punch at the top of their rotation, Fried and Rodon. Fried scuffled a little bit coming out of the All-Star break. Otherwise, he has been incredible. Of starting pitchers that have 100 starts or more since 2020, he has the lowest ERA. That's the guy they signed this offseason to a ton of money. He came in. He did the job. After his he had like 5 or 6 starts there that didn't look like the same cat. Those also overlapped with the Yankees playing poor defense. And Max Fried does need that, but he has pretty quality defense behind him now. Carlos Rodon, the strikeouts are back. His stat page looks like the guy from San Francisco that the Yankees thought they were signing a couple years ago. His kind of bounce back story after one of the first worst years you could put together out of free agency. He bounced back last year to be solid. This year, he was amazing. Even young Cam Schlittler, who will be pitching Game 3. His last start, 7 innings, 2 hits, 9 Ks, no runs. So you've got the old dogs, the horses. You got the new one who could be a postseason star. Judge might have just wrapped up an MVP season, and he is playing out of his dome lately. Giancarlo Stanton had 3 homers this weekend, and every time he's been in the postseason, that dude shows up. Around the horn, Cody Bellinger put together a great year. Trent it's this weird dance that we've done with these New York Yankees all year. Ryan McMahon has played amazing defense. He had a 2-hit game this weekend. Okay, set that and forget it. Jazz Chisholm, 30-30. The bullpen's picked it up recently. I just started grinning if you're watching on YouTube because they won 8 in a row to end the season. They had an amazing September. It's literally almost every box you'd want to check going into the postseason. But they finished tied with the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays have the tiebreaker because they dominated the Yankees this year. So the Toronto Blue Jays, we'll see in about a week. They get the bye. Best record in the AL. The Yankees with the same record, tied for the best record. They are heading into a 3-game wild card playoff against the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox, who dominated them early on this season. The Yanks won the last series against them, so they do have that to lean on. But you've got Garrett Crochet, who has gone toe-to-toe with Skubal for the Cy Young. Brian Bayo has incredible career numbers against the Yankees. Giolito has been really strong for them. They've just called up some young pitching. Alex Cora and his reputation as a good manager. Bregman is on the Boston Red Sox. And that's a guy who has pierced Yankee fans' hearts a lot. There's something odd about coming that close to catching Toronto for the division and getting the bye, and now you're going to host Boston for 3 games, who Boston has found a way to torment them. They were kind of one of the first teams that put out the script of, like, make the Yankees play defense. That ended up having the Yankees lose in the World Series to the Dodgers. Boston knows how to press the Yankees' buttons, and they will. And they will try to steal bags, and they will take extra bags, and they will, what the Yankees have been weak at the past couple years. And a lot of times in postseason games, they become game-deciding plays. That Yankee fans right now are in a weird spot. We like the team. They finished really strong. Judge looks unreal. Literally like no one you've ever seen before playing baseball, statistically and size-wise. But it's 3 games, and a lot of those series have been 2 games. Jimmy Liddick's had it 11 out of the 12 series have gone 2 games in this new wild card format.
You don't know if that includes the 2020 sample of it,
right?
But since it became the format, I think that is correct.
A lot of them have been high and tight. It's still a small sample size. Maybe that changes, but, Garrett Crochet in game 1, that if he is Garrett Crochet, that could be 7 innings without much going on at all. You could say the same thing about Max Fried. And as we go into all of these postseason matchups, it's if anyone tells you anything too confidently, they're lying. The Arizona Diamondbacks, going back a couple years ago. The St. Louis Cardinals a couple years ago when they brought Helsley in and they were about to win game 1, all of a sudden, loss, you're done. Season's over. This wild card format, I know Jimbo's not the biggest fan of it. I'm kind of not either. I don't know which direction they'll head in the future. Do you do more 1-game wild cards? Will it stay here? Why isn't the DS 7 games yet? We'll get to that over time. Yankees-Red Sox is going to be must-watch. Kind of signature series for Cora and Boone, the managers. And, man, if the Yankees lose this series, it's in New York, so that is huge. If the Yankees lose this series, people are going to lose their minds because this team is really talented. And they put themselves in a really good position. But in a 3-game playoff, anything can happen. That's why you're not going to get the most in-depth analysis out of me right now. Again, we'll talk in baseball. We'll have all sorts of stats for you to crunch. But, Nathaniel Lowe's on the Red Sox now. If he has one good swing that finds the porch, that guy's a legend. It's going to be scary. It's going to be tight buttholes, for lack of a better way to say it. That we are going to be streaming those games on Talkin' Yanks. And I'm interested to see how the Red Sox deploy their new young pitchers. Connolly Early has won over a lot of Red Sox fans. The way that Cora usually goes about his bullpen is, it's almost old school, stare at you, slap you on the chest, you got this, pal. That he's not afraid to put new guys in interesting situations. If a win is out there to be had, he will go get it. The way he deployed Sale in their World Series run, very interested to see the chess moves in this series. Because these, it's baseball's biggest rivalry. Like, this could get gnarly really quick. Bregman, Story, Duran at the top of the lineup. Judge, if he has a couple bad games, think about that. What Aaron Judge has turned into, one of the best hitters this sport has ever seen. If he has 2 bad nights at the office, he's a choke artist. And he can't handle the pressure. People are already saying that.
And if he has 2 okay nights, If he is 1 for 4 both games, 1 double, people aren't going to say that that's over.
Aaron Judge turns 34 next year. Every year that number gets up. At some point, this has to stop. Maybe it won't. Maybe the guy's a freak show because he just won the batting title. And I think he's going to win the MVP. I still don't know how the people are going to vote. I do think there has been a swing back from Cal Raleigh 60. He's a catcher that a lot of people that follow baseball are like, what he's doing has kind of never been done. You could say that for Raleigh in different ways. So I still don't know how that's going to go. But my God, and if they were to go down early and you start feeling that pressure, it's going to be must watch. I'm kind of not like spiritually ready. Hopefully I am by Tuesday. And if you're John Boy's having another baby, and that thing's going to pop out on Tuesday, I think. They set up like an appointment at the hospital. He is in a tough spot right now. Send love to the Jombino because he might not watch the game at all. And
the timing don't work. It's not going to work.
Weird and wild stuff. Yankees, Red Sox, new chapter to the rivalry. And I think what's interesting, whoever wins this goes on to Toronto. So it's going to be a big AL East. One AL East team will be going to the CS. So I guess that's the other side of all these teams playing each other, which I don't like. I talked about it a little bit. I don't know the solution. That's why there's this tone in my voice. Because you can't really change the standings to separate divisional teams. Like that doesn't work.
I mean, they used to, effectively, when it was just the one wild card. Like I saw somebody tweet, back in the old wild card, they would have just been playing the Blue Jays right now. I said, well, I think under the old wild card, it would have been rearranged and they'd have Detroit right now.
Interesting.
Which I'd like for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Of those two options.
How about the Detroit
Or not,
Kitties?
I guess it'd be Cleveland. They won.
Houston, this won't be a big episode for you because talking about the postseason, they finished tied with the Tigers. Correa comes out with, we're not injured. We think we're the best team. They did have significant injuries, and they are going to be kicking themselves for those injuries. If Jordan plays a handful more of games, a lot of their pitchers, like this Hader going down, changed a lot for that team. That it's pretty wild that they will not be in the postseason. I mean, this is their first time missing it since 2016.
First time since 16.
Is that right? Let's double check that. Let's get stats and research on it. BBD's on it. Let me get into the other series. On the other side in the AL, that was correct? Beauty.
Correct.
Look at that.
Second time since 15.
Look at this. The Guardians, who won the AL Central. That's right. 15 and a half games back. They finish ahead of Detroit by 1 game. That they will now host Detroit for a 3-game set in Cleveland. They just ran this back. Cleveland, I talked about checking boxes and playing your best ball at the right time. I mean, where did their September land? I think the thing looming in this series is Skubal. Skubal will get the pill in game 1. Detroit played in this last year, and they beat Houston, coming off a Skubal day and then pitching chaos that they famously did. Cleveland, 19-7 in September. Did they win today? No, they.
I think.
What happened? Everyone stopped caring about that game. They played Texas, and Texas was up on them. Let's see. Hold. Because that would be 20.
No, Texas was up when I last looked.
Everyone just stopped caring because Detroit.
They came back and won.
Look at that. Look at that. 20-7. Walk off heading in. Playing Cleveland Guardians baseball. And what that means is defense and pitching. Some of the pitching stats recently are out of control. Gavin Williams has turned into a 1, and people always thought that was going to happen. Tanner Bybee is back and pitching really well for them. Everyone is pitching well for them. How Stephen Vogt is going to deploy these young starting pitchers, I mean, they've got 6 of them right now. So I think for Cleveland, it's going to be a big, how are they going to deploy that with Cade Smith and Hunter Gaddis on the back end? And it's just, what are they? What are you, Cleveland? They're going to take on Scooble Day. And then I think it's going to be Casey Mize for Detroit, who he hasn't exactly had the first half he had at least. Don't be surprised if it's just a form of pitching chaos again. What Jack Flaherty are you going to get? We saw him in the postseason last year, some highs and lows. This season, on the whole, not great for Jack. I think he'd be the first to admit that one to you. And, man, it's just everything went wrong. Kerry Carpenter's year-end stats were not where I thought they would be. OBP under 300. Jahmai Jones carrying the team recently. Always mash lefties. This AL Central battle, it feels like we know what's going to... We don't know. We don't know baseball. I was going to say we know. It feels like there's going to be a ton of good pitching. And I think we're going to be walking away from that series saying, was it all good pitching? Or were there a lot of at-bats taken by guys who aren't known for their hitting? Jose Ramirez is awesome and maybe my favorite player in the league. The fact that this is in Cleveland and not Detroit is insane. And I honestly hope it matters. Because on the other side of it, while I'm complimenting Cleveland, 20-7 to finish, the biggest comeback of all time. The pitching is incredible, and like pitching in baseball is a tale as old as time. That maybe we'll be Jolly on the live show when we were in Chicago said that was the team he wouldn't want to see coming out of the American League. Just because I think they kind of muddy the waters a little bit. Like, you don't know who's going to clip you. Someone's probably going to clip you offensively, right? It's kind of how the game works. You don't know who's going to get you except that kind of one bad man at the top of the lineup. Detroit, for the mild card, if you want to call it that, it's almost going to feel icky if they advance. I mean, this got bad. This got so bad. 7-17 this month. Bad. 7-17. They blew a 15.5 game lead. I guess you could say it's the beauty of baseball. If they win a 3-game set, Scooble dominates. Maybe it's a 2-game set. And maybe these Detroit Tigers are back and they are rejuvenized. Is that a word? Rejuvenated. Rejuvenated. What was I thinking of? I don't know. Of the series, okay, let's be honest here. I think that's the least exciting series. Sorry, Central. But there's probably a reason you're the 1 p.m. game.
Exactly the sentence I was going to say.
So, no offense there. We're obviously going to be tuned in. We're going to be streaming that game. And yeah, our stream schedule is going to be a little all over the place. The Yankees kind of throw a wrench in and everything, but you guys know we're going to be all over it. And if you haven't watched one of our streams, check it out. I was honestly a little skeptical at first because that's not how I normally consume stuff. And then I like got it. Like sometimes having that second stream up, whether it's just for goofs or whether it's just having fandom or other people kind of watching with, feeling the same thing, it's a good time. Chat's lit. We will see you there. And maybe Factor will be a factor in your postseason because it's going to be it's a busy time of year, people. You got to juggle watching a lot of sports. How about this weekend? Golf, football, baseball, whatever your busy routine is, sometimes cooking can be brutal. That's why you should get Factor, chef prep, dietitian approved meals that make it easy. I think that's what they should harp home on this one. You throw it in, what is it, 3 minutes, 2 minutes?
3 minutes if you include the prep time.
Right.
3 minutes you're eating.
If you live a busy lifestyle, give Factor a try, and they have so many options. They just added some Asian-inspired meals, influenced from China, Thailand. I think they've got like seafood. They've got everything. Like whatever your diet is, Factor has it. And how about a discount? At factormeals.com/Wake and Jake 50 off. Okay. Wake and Jake 50 off. You get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year.
Free's good.
That's good. That's code Wake and Jake 50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. 1 year. Delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Offer only valid for new customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Factor. True story, John loves Factor. Has it pretty much every day. So how's that endorsement?
There is a section of the office fridge of Factor meals that say Jimmy's.
That's it. Do not touch them. The National League, which is a little juicy. I guess we'll do Reds, Dodgers first, and second mild card dropped. And maybe I'll give the Trevor Plouffe, what is you doing, baby? Yes, the Mets deserve it, as much as anyone. They couldn't muster up the one more win to get ahead of the Reds and not be in the tiebreaker. Miami continues to be a place they struggle. Miami playing for nothing, except playing for wins and to break the Mets' hearts, and that's what they did. But, Mets fans, if you're listening to this and you're wondering, how in is Jake going to go on my team? As of right now, not too bad, because I just think shots should be fired at the rest of the National League teams that didn't make it. Mets, what were you doing? Your pitching fell apart. Everything fell apart. Crazy. It's an all-time bad season. That's tough. Diamondbacks, I think they finished with an L5. That team this season, if they could have finished this last week, well, they're probably dancing. Never mind all of the horrific losses they had throughout the season. Like I think if you did the top 10 horrific losses around baseball this year, I think the Diamondbacks would have 4 or 5 in there. Insane. Diamondbacks, mad at you. San Francisco Giants, what is you doing, baby? 83 got you in the dance this year. Giants, it's a big payroll. You brought in a lot of guys. Atlanta Braves, my God, you guys should be at this thing. But they are not. The Cincinnati Reds are. I think people that have listened to this show know I have an interesting relationship with the Cincinnati Reds. I got one over, I want to say it was the start of 2023, as I was complimenting the Guardians and the Tigers pitching, that I thought, I don't want to say hitting matters more, but I think it's a lot easier to find good pitching than it is to find good hitting. We've got a lot of arm talent now. It feels like it comes and goes a little bit, that people have their moments. Where hitting, it's a lot harder to do that. There's obviously example, but it feels like sometimes a pitcher adds 3 miles per hour and they become a great pitcher. Hitters can't really do that. So I fell in love with hitting. And the Cincinnati Reds had this young crew of ball players that looked like everyone was going to hit. Ellie De La Cruz was the start of it. And it was like, who is this guy? Is this going to work? Can this work? And it did. He burst onto the scene. And that 2023 Reds team, they won 82 games. So this team is 1 game better than that. But when you went around the horn, it was exciting, man. Matt McClain broke onto the scene. 3.5 WAR in 89 games. He was balling out. TJ Friedel. He was OPS in the 8s. Will Benson, Encarnacion Strand, Spencer Steer, all of them had OPSs in the 8s that I was like, okay, Cincinnati's got this young core that can hit and is going to hit. Well, the tune has changed a little bit. Ellie De La Cruz is a star, although he had a kind of a rough second half, but he's had a couple good swings recently. That hopefully that changes the tone for him. The Reds, we did a mid-season Talking Baseball where they said who's the sleeper team you want to make it to the postseason, and the Reds won, and I was surprised. They're hitting on the year 19th in OPS, 21 in homers, 14th in runs. Again, when you compare that against other playoff teams, it doesn't stack up too great amongst the whole playoff grouping. But their pitching is what has become the Cincinnati Reds. Hunter Green is a bona fide star. And he is going to be pitching in L.A., California boy. A giant of a human, listed 6'5", 242. You might be able to boost both of those numbers. I don't know. 19 starts this year to the tune of a 2.76 ERA. He is a stud coming off last year where he had a 2.75 ERA. So Hunter Green is a bona fide dude. And watch out for that guy. And in LA against that team, the biggest stage, there's a reason people like these Reds. If they have a couple of those hitters and they've got some new guys in there, Gavin Lux, revenge series, Miguel Andujar is hitting. The Reds need a couple guys to click with the stick. Little rhyme there. Pitching, they're kind of covered. Andrew Abbott, 29 starts, a 2.87. Nick Lodolo, 28 starts, a 3.3 ERA, coming off his game with his most strikeouts this season. So pitching-wise, they're covered in this. The bullpen gets a little interesting. Emilio Pagan, Emilio and his pagan ways, 4 straight days pitched this week. We love that. Santillan, said that weird. Saladin, as he's known in this office. God, I need Joe's to watch him pitch. Those boys got used. 80 games from Santillan this year. That those two have actually been pretty nails on the back end. Nick Martinez has jumped back to the bullpen. Are they going to do that with Brady Singer? Probably not in the wild card. They have a formula. They have the pitching recipe down. It's how are they going to be able to hit against the Los Angeles Dodgers starting pitchers. My guy Blake Snell, go look what he did this year. Snell did it again. Yes, he got hurt, which he's unfortunately had happen just a little too often in his career. But he's come back, and Blake Snell has pitched to the tune of... I just had it in front of me, and then I clicked away. I don't want Tony Gosselin. I don't want that Blake. Oh, Ben Kasparius, Roki Sasaki. 11 starts at 2.35.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. He's Blake Snell. Like, he kind of does this every year. That he's going to be getting the pill for the Dodgers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. 30 starts at 2.49. My goodness. Emmett Sheehan in 73 innings put up a 2.82 ERA. Shohei Ohtani put a 2.87. Tyler Glasnow a 3.19. I don't know how Dave Roberts is going to use those pieces. I know the bullpen is scary. That's going to be the story. Are these games going to have an actual first half, second half feel? How are the Dodgers going to get those final outs? Because on the front end, they should be good. Yamamoto and Snell not known for going long into games, though. So is Emmett Sheehan going to be the piggyback guy? How is Dave Roberts and the Dodgers going to navigate those final innings? Or are the mighty Dodgers going to show up? When Max Muncy starts, they have an incredible record this year. How do you like that? Mookie Betts is back to playing Mookie Betts-like baseball. In a down year for Mookie Betts, he put up 5 WAR. And Shohei and Freddie. It's going to be interesting. The Dodgers definitely think they have an on switch. And maybe they do. They also, They won the West. While I'm talking about them not having an on switch. Let's see what they look like. No, Will Smith kills me. That guy had an amazing year. And are these Reds going to be supercharged? If they could get to Yamamoto or Snell early, do they then feel the juice? Do the Dodgers start feeling the pressure? A reminder, no team has repeated winning the World Series since 2000. Very hard to do. And this Dodgers team, I don't want to say they don't have the juice, because I could very much see that coming back in a month, and the Dodgers have the juice. It hasn't felt like a World Series run season. That being said, the postseason is just a different animal, and that can all go away. And I think it was the 99 Yankees that went back-to-back that everyone was like, I don't think this is the team. And it was. So, Dodgers, will they feel the pressure in the 3-game set against the 83-win Reds? Can they be the Magic team? Can they be the Diamondbacks from this year? Are we going to go back? Last year we had the 2 1-seeds go. Is someone going to poke their head up from the bottom? The final series in the NL, and this is probably the most brutal that one of these teams has to be eliminated. Padres, Cubbies. This one has been lined up for a while. This was kind of the only wild card series that we knew for sure had been happening for the past couple weeks or so. Slam Diego. Even though that wasn't their brand this year, the Padres, home run-wise, they finished 28th in baseball. And there was a couple bad teams this year. 28th in baseball in homers. That being said, they're part of the batting average on base team. 7th in batting average, 11th on base. Toronto, Milwaukee, hello. 16th in OPS, 18th in runs scored. So those Padres aren't kind of the Slam Diego mashing Padres that you've envisioned of Fernando and Machado, Arise, Merrill, Bogarts. And I hate that my guy Ramon Laureano went on the IL. I was so excited to watch him in the postseason. We'll see if he can work his way back. In a way, this Padres team feels deeper than previous seasons. With, if you're a right-handed pitcher and the bottom of their lineup is Sheets, O'Hearn, Cronenworth, that's a tough little segment to get through. Their starting pitching numbers on the year don't blow you away. 16th in ERA, 14th in WHIP. Michael King has come back from injury. Let's see where he's at. Full pension Piv, Nick Pivetta, put together an amazing season. He will get the ball for them in game 1. The story for them is the bullpen. The equivalent that came to my head right now, and I fully admit to having a weird brain, is in 300 when they put their shields up and they put the long swords out and they just and step forward. That's kind of the Padres bullpen. If they have the lead, it could be over. Robert Suarez, Mason Miller, Adrian Morejon, Jeremiah Estrada. That could be enough. I've seen Wandy Peralta pitch in every game of a postseason series, and he was nails. He's in that bullpen. I know Padre fans like David Morgan. Bradley Rodriguez was featured on our Young Stud potential segment. Yuki Matsui leaking down there. Will they kick one of their starters to the pen? Could Dylan Cease have a bullpen postseason? Doesn't that kind of ting your brain a little bit? Like Dylan Cease for 2 or 3 innings? I don't know. Padres aren't sure how they're going to pitch their way through this. They got the tools. They don't really know who's going to start it. I asked resident Padre fan Ryan Cohen. He's like, it's Pivetta and then not sure.
Question for him, I guess, but I've seen Mike King throw really well out of bullpens, and he's battled some injuries. Does that make it harder to kick that way?
It's I don't know. I don't think Padre fans know yet. I know that they have the tools in the toolbox. They're not sure how they want to deploy them. What Fernando did last postseason should not be forgotten. That guy was a menace. Those names aren't going to be afraid. And just a reminder, like this is this is the team that's more hurt than the Yankees. Like, the Yankees are like, oh, we blew it. We played horrible defense. Should we have won game 1? Would that have changed the series? Should we have won game 5? Would that have changed the series? The Padres had them dead to rights, and they just stopped hitting. So I guess the interesting thing for me there is if they go, what if the Cubbies shut them down that first game? Like, then you're going to start having the Padres in their last 3 playoff games have done zilch. Zilch? I was going to say zilch.
I think zilch is what you want.
I was going to say zilch, and then I was like, I don't think I've ever said that. Weird. For the Chicago Cubbies, BBD, can you see the latest on Cade Horton? Cade Horton, here's a who.
No, I saw an update that was bad.
Placed on the 15-day IL. Yikes.
I believe they said the very earliest he could be back is game 5 of the DS.
Oh, that's right. It was a rib.
Yes.
Which I don't know how that happens.
They'll figure out the roster if they get to the DS, but that's crazy.
That is crazy. The Cubbies are interesting to me. Michael Busch has been playing out of his dome. So has Seiya. How about this? Because I feel like I've been down on the Cubbies, and I think if you asked me to pick this series, I think I picked the Padres for everything we just talked about. Again, all of these 3 series could go every single direction, so it is a little bit of child's play. Is that a phrase? I want the Cubs to work. I talked about checking boxes going into the postseason. This team has checked boxes of getting to this point. Like, they've called up big prospects. They've extended guys, Ian Happ. They've traded for Kyle Tucker in 1 year. He came off the IL 3 days ago. Insane. PCA and what he's been this year. They signed Dansby as like the start of we're going to turn this around. That the Cubbies, I want this to work. It's crazy that one of these teams is going to be eliminated. The Cubs, I think the Cubs and the Padres have the talent on their roster to win World Series. One of them is going to be eliminated, maybe in 2 games. It's the sick thing we've turned this wild card weekend into. Is it going to be the old dogs or the young pups for the Cubs? Is it going to be PCA? Does Ballesteros, the 21-year-old, what kind of run is he going to get? Or is it going to be Dansby in a big spot? Is Kyle Tucker going to add some zeros to his incoming paycheck? Will Justin Turner find himself in a big spot? I hope so. Red Turn 2. He's 40 years old. The Cubs pitching has weirded me out all year. I know Brad Keller has become something out of the bullpen. I begged teams to trade for Mike Soroka for what he can be out of the bullpen. Daniel Palencia is on the All-Story team this year. Kittredge can be gross. Drew Pomeranz hanging around down there. This Cubs formula can work. I do think they got one of the worst draws of Wild Card Weekend with the San Diego Padres. Whichever team comes out of there, I know this Wild Card format is now new to us, but like whoever comes out of there, I think they turn into one of the favorites. They're going to be playing the Brewers, which the Brewers have had a tough postseason history, and they don't necessarily have the star powers that San Diego or the Cubs have. Man, this might sound weird to people because I know I just kind of poo-poo divisional stuff. I'm just talking about the 3 games because if the Cubs and Brewers tee it up for 5, which again should be 7, sign me up. Pat Murphy, Craig Counsell, the Midwest going at it. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I think whoever comes out of San Diego, Chicago will be the favorite over Milwaukee. I don't know if that's fair or not. This year's kind of the ultimate test of Milwaukee's recipe. This is the best it's worked. This is the best it's felt. Dodgers, Reds go on to face the Phillies. Seems like we're due for another Phillies-Dodgers. Honestly, fire me up. Are the Reds going to throw a wrench in that? They absolutely can. Winner of Cleveland-Detroit goes on to face Seattle. Seattle will be the favorite, and I think they'll move on. We'll see. It's a long layoff. I don't think Seattle plays until Saturday.
I think game 1 is supposed to be the DS.
Yes. So there's no games Friday. So Saturday, Milwaukee, Toronto, Seattle, Philly. That's their first game since Sunday. That's too long, man. That's not how this sport works. That's not right.
Did the Yankees get lucky?
I think the Yankees had a good draw last year. I think the Dodgers were really, really damn good. I think the Yankees had 2 legendary hitters, and they could also pitch the ball pretty good. And they got good matchups. Seattle will be favored. The Yankees might be favored over Toronto. If they get there, Toronto would be favored over the Red Sox. Again, if I'm Toronto, I realize the rest is good, but whoever comes out of those dogfights, it does seem like something we may have missed in the playoff formula. And when I say maybe we've missed it, maybe we haven't and we've talked about it, and we don't have enough data yet, but that's too long. Like, you're not... When these teams win in 2 games, which we believe it's 11 out of 12, you haven't, hurt them. Those teams then get Thursday, Friday off. So maybe that's the problem. If these series start going 3 games, I think you've left a dent. But they haven't been going 3 games. So I guess that's the biggest what to watch for of all of that. Are any of these series going to actually go 3? And I don't know, man. That's a really tough ask for Seattle that, they depend on the long ball and they can hit the long ball. That's a long layoff. And you're going to either get the Cleveland Guardians pitching, who everyone who comes out of there has been gross lately. The Tigers, I can't even stomach right now. If the Tigers win this series, I think I'll flip from full out of this format. And it's 3 games. And they have Scooble going in the first one. that can instantly be what happens. It's going to be exciting. A fake me picking my postseason picks right now on the fly. I've got Yankees over Red Sox, obviously. Cleveland over Detroit. Done. Seattle over Cleveland. Yankees is always tough because I really like them. But I think I would genuinely take the Yankees over the Blue Jays. Yankees went to the World Series last year. They finished with the exact same record. It's not that bold. They have the stars. They have postseason experience. Toronto's figuring out their pitching a little bit more down the stretch. Maybe that rest is going to be huge for them, and that's what'll do it. I would believe in the Yankees beating the Toronto Blue Jays, and I think that's more than just fandom. Toronto can very easily win it.
Obviously, Toronto, in a lot of ways, has just straight up had the Yankees number this year, all of that. Good best record in the AL, all that. But, the whole excitement of this weekend was that they just blew a 5-game lead or whatever it was in 2 weeks. So,
right. They're
swept this weekend and a team that was dead, but
they looked great this weekend. And Alejandro Kirk, what do you say? My short king, what he did. So give me Mariners, Yankees. Sorry, Toronto. Mariners, Yankees. Cal Raleigh versus Judge. Come on. I think the Mariners have more talent. Naylor, Suarez, those are 2 pretty big ads at the corner. Their pitching is real deep. It's close. God, Seattle to New York flights. That's a lot, huh? Honest opinion. I think if I wasn't a Yankees fan, I think I'd pick Seattle. I think Cal's having a magic season. I said this months ago. I think they're clutch. I think Randy Arozarena is that guy. I think Cal has proven he's that guy. I think Naylor has stones. I think Suarez has stones. Like, I mean, what's his name? George Kirby. That guy has onions. Logan Gilbert, Senor Smoke on the back end. Yeah, I guess if it was real money, would I put it on Seattle or New York? I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't bet it. But if you want to bet it, why don't you go to the DraftKings Sportsbook? This episode is sponsored by DraftKings. There's never a better time to get in the action. We got the postseason going on, and it's football season. Every touchdown can get you closer to a payout with our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You bet $5 and you get $200 in bonus bets. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Live betting, we're going to be doing some of that in this postseason in our streams. Make sure you check that out. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code JMSports. That's code JMSports to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. I didn't think I was going to do the read there while I'm actually making my picks, but that's nice for DraftKings. I'll go Mariners. Mariners go to the World Series. If not now, when? Dodgers beat the Reds. Have to, right? No way. Dodgers beat the Reds. It's baseball. There's a way. I have the Padres over the Cubs, sadly. I have the Padres over the Brewers, sadly. Trent Grisham Bowl. I have Phillies beating LA. I think this is their team. I have the Phillies beating San Diego, so that would be a Phillies-Mariners World Series. I'd have the Phillies winning. They've kind of been my World Series favorite for a while, so I feel good about that. I feel about nothing in the American League. Seattle could throw up a goose egg, and we'd be like, yeah, they're the Mariners. They've had no playoff success. It's a weird sport. It's not football where it's, well, the left side of their line is weak, and they're going to pass rush from over there. Watch out for that all game. Doesn't really work like that in baseball. Are you hot? Is your guy throwing the ball well? Did you make the plays? But somehow it feels like the best team kind of finds a way. We'll be tuned in all postseason long. Again, we're going to be streaming pretty much every night. Every night there's a game. We should have a live stream going on. I'm excited. It really, I know I was kind of being kooky TV host. Man, where does the season go, man? It really does feel that way. I don't know if it's a getting older thing. I don't know if I've had a lot going on this year that could just be the multiplier. It feels shocking that the postseason is here.
This season did feel like it.
Is there something
extra
off?
Fast? And we're the oldest we've ever been.
That's true. We are the oldest we've ever been. Yeah. I guess comment below. I don't, like, from the All-Star break to now, just feels like an absolute blur. And then you're doing that, like, the early part of the season. What the hell was that? What was April and May like? No clue. Hey, I guess it was a big sports weekend, so I'll just chew through a little bit of the sports while we still have you. And I don't know, there's a couple minutes on the clock. Why not? College football, where Jake was wrong. I liked both home favorites. I thought Penn State, this is their year. When the game was leaking up towards game time, the two big games that were on 7:30 is Oregon, Penn State, Alabama, Georgia. I was like, for Alabama, Georgia, for me, it was like, okay, this is kind of Kalen DeBoer's last ride. If they lose this game, I don't think his time in Alabama can be successful. So if he can rally the troops, get one big game, get that big win under his belt, And that's a little bit of what happened. They jumped out ahead early. They end up beating Georgia 24-21. I didn't think that's how this game would go. Both of these games were 3.5-point favorites, which that's kind of a fishy Vegas number when you see that line out there. Good for Alabama. I'm happy for them. I think the college football landscape is better when Alabama is involved. Maybe Simpson, their quarterback, is the guy. Maybe Gunnar Stockton's not. Maybe none of it matters because both of these teams, I think, are going to be playoff teams. But yeah, Kirby will be able to coach him up. And then, before Penn State, Oregon, I was watching, me and my friend Nikhil were talking about this game. And if Oregon wins, I like Dan Lanning, and they're Oregon, right? Like, their quarterback has a chance to be a dude in a year, Dante Moore, where there's not a ton of dude quarterbacks right now. And if they lose, it's at Penn State, and it's the whiteout, and it's a rowdy environment, and Penn State is really good, one of the favorites to win it this year. If Penn State loses, it feels like there's going to be finger pointing at James Franklin. And that's kind of where it landed. And I don't know what it is, but his big game numbers are not there. And I got scared right before game time because I was like, I still think coaching matters in college football. Really like Lanning, not the biggest Franklin guy. These two teams are also probably going to the tournament at the end of the year. It was a big college football day. The rest of them was kind of too much to keep up with. Ole Miss LSU, Lane Kiffin. How do you like that? Weeks was thrown up on the field. I don't know. Could that have been? He gets the last laugh for now. Dude's dating his daughter. And then the NFL week this weekend. Again, I was one eye on the NFL. Hey, how about a happy couple moments for the New York Giants? Jackson Dart. Playing fun football. Like aggressive quarterback running. Making a couple throws. The Giants can't have anything nice. As Neighbors tears his ACL. BBD, your Giants, they won a game today, and it was fun.
They won a game. They
rare.
had fun. If you're, but after one game sample size, of course, if you're going to have a team that is going to be bad this year, tough schedule, all that, I'm excited to spend the rest of the year when I check in on my Giants watching Jackson Dart try stuff.
Yeah.
That's going to be a better brand of the terrible record of football than I've seen, and maybe they'll be okay sometimes.
That's where the bar's at in this city for their football team. Hey, they beat a Chargers team. This could be some West Coast going east stuff there. Jackson Dart, the excitement in his first game. The Giants, you don't want to say they wanted it more, but 0-4.
On the other side, the Chargers fans probably are blaming a lot on their left tackle went out first drive, so now that probably does a lot. That's
both their tackles, so I might be eating crow on some of my like the Chargers takes. I wonder if there's a trade out there for them. I guess the other highlights from the day, we had the Ireland game. Pittsburgh lets Minnesota back into the dance late, which got pretty hairy. Great tackle. Linebacker chased down Jordan Addison to run another minute off the clock that ended up kind of being the difference in ending the game. Pittsburgh's kind of a fun, angry watch. Rodgers, Arthur Smith, Tomlin, Metcalf out there. Carson Wentz 350 through the air. No way. What else do I like? Atlanta, Washington, not really. Good for Atlanta bouncing back. Bijan Robinson had a couple highlights that I was like, okay. With Bijan Robinson, I had to play a game. If I was 12 years old again and I was like binge playing Madden like I used to, how would I like Bijan Robinson? And I think it would be a lot more. So he's climbing the ranks for me. 100 from Drake London. Shout out. Buffalo, New Orleans, not really. I think that kind of landed where people thought. Detroit, womps on Cleveland. Yeah. Joe Flacco's 40. Did you know that? Crazy Football Reference page. I brought it up today while I was watching, and I was like, no way. Like, his career ended in 2018, and it's 2025, and he's starting for the Browns. Good for him collecting checks, and sometimes he looks okay, but they need to let Dylan Gabriel or Shador play. I mean, that's crazy. That's a lot of NFL football, man.
It's a lot of years being part of the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, he just kind of lurked around. I guess it's nuts he's starting.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy for Joe.
I guess he's never the plan.
He's not really the plan. So as long as he wants to keep showing up and doing it, good for you, Joe. Eagles beat Tampa. Tampa had been a thorn in their side. They get out to a big lead. Tampa fights back in that game, but a little too late. Too little too late. I think Eagles were up 21-3 at one point. Is it too easy to come back in the NFL? New England actually had a good game. It's against Carolina, which do with that what you may. Stephon Diggs 100 through the air, which I had to start 2 New England players in fantasy football today and was horrified. Diggs was one of them. Felt good about that. Ramondre was the other. Don't feel good about that. Antonio Gibson snaking a goal line carry. Nobody cares. Houston, Tennessee, disgusting. Tennessee shut out in a bad place. Houston really needed a win. And then I'll be honest, these 4 p.m. games I didn't get to watch a lot, but Kansas City, Baltimore, this was the one. Tried to tee this up for you guys last week. Baltimore drops to 1-3. Their defense. What is going on? Chiefs kind of needed one of these. Everyone was really down on the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy comes back, leads the team in receiving, leads the team in rushing in this game. Chiefs need to get a couple players healthy on offense to help pad out. Because how did he go from being the best ever to throwing 2 backward spikes last week? Didn't make sense to me. Baltimore 1-3. Whoa. What do they got coming up? Dallas, Green Bay playing right now. I'll watch the second half of that. You guys too. And we got some Monday Night Football tomorrow. And we got baseball playoffs. I guess some times and releases may be a little different, but we're going to get you the content. You guys are the absolute best. We appreciate you. Enjoy it. We'll see you.